does your product use or challenge conventions, and how do they represent social groups or issues? So the three projects I worked on throughout my second year of A-level media studies. First one being my digipack, which is for my music videos, which was a music video that I was going to make. After that, it's quite conventional with a clear masthead. The background is the rapper himself, and the subheading is states that it's his first album. I used him as a background in order to show the people who they're listening to, as it's his first release, so people want to know who's behind the songs. He's a dark-skinned teenager, a stereotypical rapper with a background of graffiti potentially showing where he came from, living a tough life. It also may show his comfort zone. On the left side of the digipack, it's quite conventional as it shows the numbers of the songs 1 to 8. Here's an example of what my digipack looks like. On the left side, we see there's numbers 1 to 8 of the songs, and the masthead is clear of his name, and at the bottom of the page, we have the album name. Furthermore, my main project, which was my music video, it follows the usual convention of a rap video with a little bit of a twist. It's set in 2 different locations. The first one being a graffiti location, which is most fitting to the convention and the overall idea of the music video. It's most fitting because it's a young dark-skinned male who might have grown up on the streets and now is a rapper, which we see nowadays. He's wearing a tracksuit, which is quite conventional. There's a sense of repetition difference in my video, as he's wearing a tracksuit in one shot, and in the other shot, which is the other location, which is quite luxurious, he's wearing a suit, which is quite unusual. I did it in order to throw the viewer off, to show something different. The suit shows a sense of professionalism, showing that he came from rags to riches, yet the background of graffiti and his tracksuit shows that he still hasn't forgotten his roots. I also have shots of him wearing chains and smoking to show success and a more laid-back approach. Here we have 2 pictures, the first one being the chains. We use chains, a side bag, as well as rings, watches and bracelets to show a sign of wealth. The background itself, the location we used was a place which was full of graffiti to follow convention of a rap video. There are also social issues and underlining meanings. First one being people may assume that, so there might be a sense of racism and stereotyping. People may assume that just because he's dark-skinned, he may have become successful through criminal activities such as selling drugs. The shots in the graffiti location is quite fast to show excitement and a fast-moving life, almost like a roller coaster. And in the other location, it's quite slow and relaxed to show a sense of calmness and content. The lighting is quite bright in order to show a positive mood, and it's quite it makes it a lot easier when editing the video. The colors in the graffiti location are quite bright as well, to make it visually pleasing and more exciting. In the other location, it's quite in the luxurious location is more basic colors such as brown and white to give it a professional feel. I use a low angle to show a sense of power, to show who's in charge of the music, which was the rapper himself. And the low angle shots show him towering over the camera to give him a more almost godly feel. I muted the sounds of the initial shots as I was going to edit in the song itself. However, I did have the thought of leaving in some noises that were made during the shots to give it a more homely feel, as well as holding the camera, making the camera handheld to give it a more organic feel to it. My final project, which was my website, it has a front cover similar to my digipack. The front cover is quite conventional with a clear masthead and subheading with the background of the rapper himself. The second page is general information about the rapper himself, his hobbies, etc., like a small portfolio, and the last page is release dates. At the top, there's small writing of the rapper's name, showing that it's his first album, his first release, and in the last page, it's the release dates and who's featuring in his songs, which is quite conventional, as we see quite often.